Hi everyone, it's Jules by Jude. Another video. What do you know? Okay, what do we got here? Stencils from Wish. Told you there was going to be Wish coming. Again and again and again. I wish. We're going to use a couple of these stencils. We're going to look at them first, then we're going to put them on these lovely pieces of double thickness Sculpey black clay. I have 3 cutters that I'll probably be using in these 3 conditions, as you can see, right here, right now, right today. So, I'm going to take them off for now, and I'm going to work with each one separately. Now, we're going to look at these stencils and we're going to pick. And it's going to be this type of a cutter right here. And I'm going to take my trusty little acrylic roller, because I see that there are some possible air bubbles from when I placed down the clay to make it doubled up. So we want to make sure we get rid of that. We want to make sure it's nice and smooth. I'm not pushing hard, just hard enough to hopefully flatten this out and keep these bubbles out. Now I don't see anything I need to cut, so I'm going to leave it there for now. What I am going to do is now take these. Now I already know I'm going to be using this piece right here. Okay? First things first though. I have that image in my mind and I want to know what am I wanting out of that cutter. These stencils are indeed from Wish, and they were indeed like $1. So it's almost shopping at a dollar store, a couple dollars. Here's one. Here's another. I kind of used this a little bit just as a tester earlier, but not on any of these pieces that are I didn't get a real piece out of it. I'm just taking some of this clay out. So there you go. I decided that was a little too big for some of the pieces I want. This is more detailed and acceptable in my opinion from what I needed to do now. Okay, now this is more animal like, you know. You can also do this, and that's not bad. That's a good, for this cutter this is good, I think. But let's look at the others. This is definitely not gonna work for me in most of my projects as of yet. But you never know what I may come up with in my head with designing that. So those 4 came together for like $2. I'm going to use this one, but I want to show you the other 2 that I got for about $1. Also, they came from Wish. I wish. That's doable. Not with the one I'm going to use currently, but we will look at that again. And these are butterflies. Definitely going to use them in one of these pieces. So this is the piece I'm going to use, and I think I'm going to stick around that area. Okay, now I want to press this down just enough so that my mica, because that's what we're going to be doing it with today, mica. I want to make sure my mica powder doesn't seep underneath. So this will be what we will be using. The mica will show on the black that you see and should not be underneath. Okay, underneath meaning these, the plastic. Okay, now what I might do is a little bit of this varnishing to get that nice and fixed on there, so that when I pull it off, it's the way I want it to be. Okay, so I can kind of see where some of the white is showing through the plastic, and I know that it's not sticking in those areas, which if you know 95% of the stencil is sticking to the clay, you will be good. You shouldn't have a problem, but we'll see. I've never used these stencils before. So I have most of my stencil stuck. Now, what I'm going to do is approximately decide where my design in this design is going to be. And I am pretty much thinking it's about here. Okay? So my color focal will be right about there. Okay? So I have that in my brain. Next up is, what do I use for color? Okay, Pearl-Ex Super Copper. That's that one. Super Copper. Pearl-Ex, and this I use a lot of. Dual red and blue. Pearl-Ex Violet. Alright. Now I've been thinking, I think I might do copper here. So, where's my trusty brush? There it is. So I'm going to take a little bit of my copper and I'm going to brush gently. And I know my focal point is over here, but for the sake of the possibility that I may use something else on this, I will definitely treat it as though I'm using the entire piece of clay at this point. And I don't want to go too hard because I don't want to go underneath of my stencil, if I can help it. And I want to keep some of this off the top of my stencil so that when I lift the stencil up off of my clay, any of the mica will not be able to seep, fall down. Now if I have too much, then I can take a towel and try and do that. Now what you might see in some instances when you're using paint is the fact that they use a squishy to do that. Okay, so essentially what they're doing is taking all the paint off so that when you lift it up, and I did not push it in quite as thick as I might have had I used paint, because it's just like painting a stencil on your wall. You don't want anything seeping under. I'm really liking the copper here. I don't know about you guys, but I really like this copper. And what I'll do when this is done is lift this off as carefully as possible, or maybe as quick as possible. If I do it right, I shouldn't have many issues as far as anything being colored that I don't want colored. I like the stencil. The stencil is sturdy enough because I have gotten very fine stencils from very good companies, and you really have to wash them immediately, but I'm not using a paint right now on this, so this is not something that you need to immediately dip into water, but you do probably want to clean it up just in case. But it seems as though most of this mica is coming off of the stencil itself quite easily, so I don't think you have a problem with running to the spigot to rinse anything off. Like that spigot, that's how we were taught. Faucet, okay. Sprinkler. I don't know. My mother always called it the spigot. Especially outside ones. So. But anyway, let's get this print in here really good, because I'm liking this copper color. Really cool. I like it a lot. And I have a couple indentations in the clay here. I can see that. There may even be bubbles over here. But so I'm going to stay away from that so I don't have that issue once I... Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take to look as close as I want here as to the colors. Make sure that the black is covered, that I want covered, and wiping off my excess. Excess? Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. This is going to tell the truth here. We're going to see where we're at. I'm going to get this, I'm brushing off the excess now from the other parts of the stencil to make sure that there's no overflow when I lift it. Put my cap back on first to the mica. Mica accidents are nightmares. This stuff. Okay, here it is, guys. Cross your fingers for me. Wow, that's cool. Let me look down now. Yeah, it's good. Very good. Very good. Okay, now I'm going to put my stencil over here. And the next thing I'm going to do, for sake of transfer possibilities that I don't want, I'm going to take off the sides of this mica where I see that I have brushed it off on. Because I'm really wanting this to be a pretty solid piece, meaning I don't want any transfer if I can help it into my black. Now, I think you saw, I know for you it's upside down, but I apologize for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cutter and I'm going to press into it. Keeping in mind, guys, that this is a very thick piece of clay, and that's really why I like to use this cutter. And Jessma's cutters are also deep, and then some of the others are not as deep or as dirty. See my my Band-Aid from earlier today. Now, I know they like to do that, so what I'm going to do is take this away like this. Look at that. I could still use that plenty good for something. Yeah. I love this piece. Oh, it's even coming off of the glass. I don't have to worry about it so much. Let me see if I can get it on its own tile. Okay. You guys, look at that piece. Tell me that's not gorgeous. I love it. So I'm baking her. Huh? And also a different color mica. Moving right along. Not for this cutter. So, let's see what else we got. We had, you know what, let's try this. Because it's a little bit on the crazy side, meaning that the print is pretty all over the place. So we're going to do the same thing we did last time. Remember, what we're doing here is making sure we can get as much. There's a little white dot there. I hope you can see it in the video. Right here, 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 here. Not many though. And that's what we're trying to get rid of. But if it's in the center of the stencil, okay, we're usually okay with that. I'm going to make sure we don't put any indentations on there. Okay, because it's on the sides, like right here, like this one, where it can creep under. So that's what we're looking for not to do for us, okay? Yeah, we don't want anything creeping into those. At least I don't. Maybe there's another type of, you know, pendant or procedure that you might want it to. I don't know. I don't think so, though. Okay, we'll just stay away from there. Okay, so I'm doing the part where we're brushing off all the excess. I can see that it's covered. And this is a reflective mica looks like. So I just want to make sure I got most of it off of the screen, because we already know if we don't, we can have an accident with that. So I'm about ready to lift it up. Ready, everybody, ready? Yay! I like it. Yep, I like it. So let's do some transfer damage control here, so we don't transfer it. There we go. It looks pretty good. I don't see very much mixing together with the other and such. Now I just have to decide which part. And I have to turn that towards me, so. And this time I'm going to explain a little bit why. Besides the fact that I get to decide. It gives me a little bit more clay to work with if I want to make an earring or two. That was the reason why. Besides that, I don't think I could have went wrong with it either. So he was pretty like all over the place. Alright, so I'm going to put that aside. We have one more to do. Next up is going to be, alright, we're going to try this one with less clay. Just because my cutter does not want to cooperate tonight. So, voila, that's the pebble one. I'm calling it the pebble one. I don't want too much on there. Push down, turn a little. Oh, there we go. Push down. She just wants to mess up no matter what, doesn't she? Oh, gee. That there is another success. This is Jules by Jude. If you like the video, please press like. If you like it, share it, and please subscribe. Thank you. God bless.